The first poem I'm going to share with you all is the first poem I wrote for performance, and it wasn't a page poem. And it's basically written because my background is Punjabi, and we're from Pakistan, and the men go out, they work the fields, and do all the hard toil and the labour, and the women do all the domestic stuff at home. And so the men get the best bits of meat, they get the best bits of food because they need the strength. And then when we migrated and came to the UK, that kind of mentality stayed, even though nobody's working in their fields, everybody was kind of going to work. And I was growing up and told that the guys would get eggs for breakfast and girls get jam for breakfast and these kind of things. And I was like, fine. And I was like, I'm going to be a feminist because I need to change my breakfast routine. So this is called jam for girls, girls get jam. But we awoke to the sizzle of eggs in the pan. I liked mine well done, and my sister liked hers with the yolk just so. Yes, we were girls, but we got eggs, not jam. But we were made to know. I was not born boy. I was not born to be man. I was born to be given away, and that's why girls get jam. And that's not why I have one, but three beautiful sisters, because I was not born boy. And I was made to know that I escaped the desert sands. My mouth was not placed over with hand. I was lucky enough to be born after the gift of the Quran, to be protected by the word of Allah, and still my Ummah chooses not to see the compassion bestowed upon us by Allah. Still my Ummah chooses not to see the light bestowed upon us by Allah. Yes, bones lie scattered, crisscrossing through deserts under the feet of our beloved prophets. And like my mother, the desert heat suppresses secrets, and mass graves gather under sand dunes. No, I cannot tell you why that girl child buried, breathing, lies in the embrace of the Sahara. And yes, I must cover, live enshrouded, black cloth grazing against my skin, protecting me from everyone else's sins, my face, my eyes, my lips, my words and honesty, and yet I must pluck and wax and tweeze and squeeze and polish and lipo and smile for lips, big tits, design a vagina, because this way it gets called freedom. You see, my identity and my honor lie not in me, but in those who own me, and oh, how they adorn me. I tinsel like Christmas tree. Because in the land of the free by the man I love, I am battered every 15 seconds. And in the land of democracy, I was only given the right to speak in 1918, so shh. Yes, he said hush, because only in 1991 did it become rape. So don't say a word, he says, but I just got to ask, is that why even today only 4.2% of rape cases lead to conviction in Bristol? Yes, they all just let him walk away because I was not born boy. I was not born to be man. I was born to be given away, and that's why girls get jam. And like traitors, they say we give away land, we do not carry on our fathers' names, we disappear in family trees, there is no leaf left for me. And as silent, the sweltering heavy nights, we are considered to have come from thin air, giving birth to strong sons and serving great husbands, and burning to death on funeral pyres, the Ganges just rolling on by, unperturbed by that smell of burning flesh, that stench of charred hair that once tumbled down a honey brown back. And they remind us that we got lumbered with jam, we were born to be given away, and no one loves those who aren't here to stay. Excuse me. The next piece is called Empire. Like British about like to be not that. And click when you like a line, let's do that. So Empire is a poem I wrote because this year, 2017, is 70 years of independence from the British Raj in India. And I've never written a poem about it before, and I really struggled. And this is the first piece I've written about it for 2017. It's called Empire. I'm so imaginative. I was doing all right until I met him. Needy, complicated, full of drama. It was small man syndrome. It was upbringing. He was misunderstood. He was Ireland. Needed to be given a chance. And everyone said he would be cruel. But it happened so slow. And then suddenly it was 200 years of sorrow that sat in my bones, sat into the salt of me. I had let him hold my face in his hands, whisper in my ears, let him mute the spice of me. He slipped heirlooms of my nakedness, fingers, neck, wrists, ankles exposed. Put his dick into the soil of me. I bore the children he denied. He drew lines across my body, broke me into nationless pieces, gave me a blade, sat and watched blood flow. He waited, He waited for me to become all teeth and nails and bones. The next one is called Stokescroft, and I grew up in St Paul's in Bristol, and when I was growing up there, it was completely different to how it is now. And I moved to East London as well, and it's been a bit of a culture shock being in East London. And Stokescroft is a poem I wrote about the changes that have happened that I've seen growing up in Stokescroft. By the way, I tell you, I fucking love Shoreditch. Like, I get my jumper and everything from there, so I know I'm dissing gentrification, but at the same time, they've got a nice merge of clothing. Yeah, so I'm trying hard to be ethical and shit. But it's, right, okay, Stokescroft. Yeah, they always send the hippies in first. All love, no war, all theory. It's all right when the poor sods are staring at you from TV screens and magazines with trauma-vacant eyes, but here, suddenly no one can see what's straight up under their nose, and you get poverty living side by side with the cool, the eclectic and the edgy. Yes, the makeup of these streets have changed up, and beard wearers, tight trouser hugging hipster heads bob their way down these pavements, and yes, essentially we are all just consumers, but nowhere near this level. We can't match them in this because they buy out identities and appropriate cultures like disposable high street fashions. Yes, they consume us around here. Cultures are cooked up and devoured. Samosas without the Indians, hummus without the Palestinians, jerk without the Jamaicans. White, a friend noted how safe it is here. It's all changed, she said. True, it's all changed. It's safe for you, safe for me. Yes, you like the people of places. Skin colours like rainbows gleaming down these streets. Yes, you like the people of places, but only when they're being useful. Like nodding their heads in rice and peas and curry and a kebab, nodding from behind counters, nodding from behind kitchen doors, nodding, always fucking nodding. Yes, Massa Sir, and Jiha Sahib, no problem Sahib. Watch, Easton will follow the same suit, give it time. Shoreditch and Whitechapel have already paved our path. It's called the John Cabot effect, the Merchant's Quarter effect, the Colston's effect. It's called the get them out and move them on effect. And regeneration happened side by side with community cuts. No more Kumba, no more seed, no more Hamdard. They weren't fit for function. Our support systems were dismantled, demolished, and our lives were just packed up and moved on. Yes, we are strewn around here for decorative purposes only. No one will reach out with words and strike up a conversation. Two worlds side by side as if in parallel universes. Yes, like light years away stars, we're strewn around here for decorative purposes only. So shh, twinkle, and just look the part. Kind of going to be a little bit positive now because I think we kind of need positivity. I wrote this poem for my daughter, and I kind of wrote it when I was sat down and I was watching an advert and on TV. I was watching TV and there's no adverts, and whenever I see brown people in adverts on TV, which is slightly changing now. But it was always like an Oxfam advert. It was always like whenever I saw a reflection of myself, it was poverty, it was deprivation, it was in like putting a hand out and could you please help us? And I just thought my daughter's going to grow up seeing a reflection of herself in that. So how is that going to affect her psyche? So I've dedicated this poem for her called Remember My Daughter. Remember my daughter. Remember when you find yourself bookended between images with gold glittering hair who advertise desire and who speak to those who have the ability to obtain. Remember my daughter, that when you see those images of paper-thin women, gold hair glittering, that you come from a long line of strong women, bodies hard, childbearing, reflecting the beauty of your own brown skin. You, my child, will not always be Miss Universes and Miss Worlds. You are instead the universe itself. You encompass within you the beauty of navigators across lands and the stars and overseas. This world belongs to you. We are the children of migrants, browned and dark-eyed. We've marked the world with footsteps speaking of our journey. So mark this world with your presence, not with thigh gaps and the ability to disappear, but in a homage to your foremothers, the stretch marks on real skin. So remember, when you find yourself bookended between images of women with gold glittering hair who epitomize desire and the ability to obtain, that no, you will not find your identity on that TV screen, but understand where you belong, not as a Miss World, not as a Miss Universe, but as a woman to whom the world belongs to. You can navigate this earth with the wisdom of a nomad. Feel this earth deep down in your bones and you will find yourself amongst the stars and galaxies. You've been given the gift to carve your own destiny, so choose to belong to something far greater than what can ever be depicted within the rigid confines of this society. And that small box that babbles away ceaselessly into empty evenings. You, my child, will speak worlds into creation. You, my child, are the universe itself and every beauty it has ever glimmered into hope. I'm going to do a fun So within the South Asian community, we have like a real issue around colorism. And even growing up, my sister and I were compared, and I was told I was more beautiful because I had lighter skin than her. My mother-in-law told me to drink more milk so that my baby was born with lighter skin. And it's a huge thing, like it's really huge. And so I wrote a poem about the goddess Kali. And the goddess Kali is, if you're familiar with Hindu mythology, she's the goddess of destruction and she's dark skin. And so I wrote a poem to my daughter, who was darker skinned than me, and my sister, dedicated to them, really. When Durga's brow furrowed, the dance started. I came into being. Salt water spilled over and held within it the story of my darkness. You see, I am this skin, blueness in its black. I am the darkest of mothers. I did not do what they expected. I did not become what they wanted. What I did was to decide. What I did terrified, defied. My otherness will not be tamed. It was beauty that my tresses framed. Because I am the original form. I put a fear in them. I wouldn't lighten up. I wouldn't brighten up. I wouldn't whiten up or whiten up. My body would not imprison my soul, and under my feet the soil would roll. I'll breathe monsoons into season. My dance is not that of reason, goddess of destruction. My strength will carry with it natural cycles of the earth. No, I don't brighten up. I don't lighten up. I don't quieten up. I don't whiten up like chaos. My dance is frightening. My name is called upon when battles need fighting, when demons need defeating. My feet impound the earth in a frenzy so delighting. I am Shakti on that battlefield. Skin glowing defiance, my darkness triumphs. And when shit gets tough and shit gets moving, shit gets going, I get moving, my soul starts spewing. I get realer, I put a real fear in them. I don't brighten up, whiten up, whiten up. And my cursing's out like a mantra and resonates within every woman who screams after me. And I really would like you to scream after me. Fuck Bollywood's white skin obsession.
Fuck Bollywood's white skin obsession.
Fuck London Fashion Week and thigh gaps.
Fuck London Fashion Week and thigh gaps.
Fuck the beauty industry.
Fuck the beauty industry.
Fuck body shaming.
Fuck body shaming.
Fuck skin lightening.
Fuck skin lightening.
Yes, fuck skin lightening like a cancer. It spreads like the blood of demon Rafta Jiva across the landscapes of brown girls' faces. Brown faces that will furrow brows. Brown faces that hold Shakti. Brown faces that will bring furies unraveling into this world. Watch me lift my foot. Ready yourself, because my darkness dances. It's called Revolution, and I wanted to read it because everyone's kind of taken to the streets and revolution is kind of happening. So I'm kind of optimistic, even though we're in shit times. I feel like we've been here before, we've done it before, our parents have done it before, our grandparents have done it before. And we're not complacent, you know, we're standing up to it in some kind of way. But what I do think is important is that everybody is included in the revolution. And I wrote this poem after the Egypt protests around Tahrir Square, and listening to a feminist called Mona, what's Mona's surname? Siddiqui? Yeah, Mona Siddiqui. And some of her work and her criticism of the revolution. And it's something that's resonated with me also, not just within that, but also hearing civil rights activists and Black Lives Matter movements about how women lead some of these protests and then are forgotten. I've just told you the whole damn thing. I'm not going to introduce things anymore, I'm just going to do the poem. I'm going to do the poem. Okay, I do a lot of, I drop Arabic words and Urdu words, and you might be like, just follow me, just go with me. When the revolution starts, when the revolution rolls itself through our streets full force, maybe because we are mothers and your lovers, we know how to stand like in Salah, shoulder to shoulder, always behind you, row upon row, gathering strength for you. And when we are called upon, and when justice is not done, and when prevent is used to silence you, when the brownness of your skin is reason enough for violence against you, We drop ourselves to give you voice. We speak out for your cause because your cause is our cause. But when the revolution is done, when the revolution is finished, our names are forgotten in the world. Our voices get silenced, sidelined, forgotten. We go back to being just Aurat. Aurat is an Urdu word meaning woman, and it derives from aura. Aura is an Arabic word meaning literally female genitalia. Lips in the wrong place, because when the revolution is done, and when the revolution is won, the revolution forgets it was meant for everyone. And this one's called Excuse Me, My Brother. And I did this poem because I performed a couple of times, and I get brothers who say, oh, it's amazing what you're doing, it's really, really cool how you're like, you know, speaking out stuff and blah, 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 yeah, and they get me. But how come, like, one of the things that we'll talk about is how I dress, and why I don't wear hijab, or why I don't dress more Islamically. And I always defend myself and be like, well, actually, I don't feel like I can use like academic arguments based on like my religion and my faith. And then I thought, hold up, why am I even doing this? Let me ask you, excuse me, my brother, excuse me. Can I ask you why your dress is not more Islamic, my brother? Why is your sultan, trousers, not way up here, my brother? Come here, my brother, come here. Let me measure this beard you have growing. Still looks a bit prepubescent. Not very Islamic, my brother, not very Islamic. And tell me, why is your gachi always on display, my brother? In fact, while I have your attention and the right to discuss your body, let me ask you, just how circumcised is your dick, my brother? Oh, I'm sorry. Are my questions embarrassing you? How does it feel to be told that you don't measure up to my understanding and requirements of what it means to be Islamic enough? That your angles and curves will be laid bare to my judgment of how wrong you are. That somehow through all these physical attributes I can see into your heart, weigh up your niyat. Sure, outspokenness is not very feminine, not very Islamic. Clearly my female voice is far too alluring. I need to shh my heartfelt pourings, tone smooth and drip with honey and onomatopoeias that are deliberately arousing. My assonances dance the flutter of my eyelashes as playful as chimes in the wind. They indecently beckon you, obviously. And my laugh, like soft fingertips running over your spine, penetrates you. And of course, the explicit way my hair billows in the breeze is an affront to all that is good and pure in this world. Wake up, my brother. Yes, I said wake up. Let me tell you, it's all about context, not always about sex. So my brother, avert your gaze, hands off my body, and don't think you can judge my niyyah. Listen to my words. See me beyond the vessel that carries my soul and my mind. Hear me, my brother. Hear me, my brother. Hear me. I'm going to finish with a poem I wrote 2 years ago now. I think it's 2 years ago when the attacks happened in Paris on the Jewish court in the markets. And I do a lot of work with an organisation called Salam Shalom, and we do lots of dialogue work between Muslims and Jews. And it was devastating to hear what had happened there. And I wrote this piece as a response. It's called Prayer. There are moments of prayer that have imprinted themselves not only on my lips, but somewhere in the depth of my memories. A time when sunbeams shone through Jummah prayers like geometric patterns of Jama al-Qutubiyya, where the remnants of French colonization live on side by side with the footprints of the Tuareg Berber tribe. And the heavens and the skies illuminate blues on Chefta Tawan. It is here I bowed my head before Allah and I offered up my prayer. Side by side, my recitation echoed back by the soft voice of a young girl beside me. And never has prayer housed as much power as it did when whispered by the innocent faith of a child, and I was reminded of hope. And I am reminded of a time where once in the heart of Paris, shielded by a minaret and secret trees, a great mosque acted as a place of refuge for our Jewish family. I am reminded of Rathan Abathili and this frightened body shivering in a fridge, power off, lights off, hoping on. I am reminded of an image of two women side by side and that yellow burning star blanketed over by the bravery of friendships. And it is these acts of humanity that remind us there is always hope. And every time I pray, I remember both the Mishnah and the Quran teaches whoever destroys a single life, it is as though he has destroyed the entire world. And whoever saves a single life, it is as though he has saved the entire world. So side by side I pray, and I continue to hope.